Yeah.
Factor.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Factor special.
I know you're a pro, Mike. You got this.
Oh yeah, a pro. Welcome to Game Day Battle, where Cleveland sports news meets biased and outspoken opinion. Full Game Day crew here. DST, you got the big Fantasy Factor special today.
Yep.
It's beginning of the fantasy season, so I'm looking forward to
exclusive.
So it's going to be a big segment. We're really looking forward to it.
I'll be taking notes.
And absolutely, because it is going to be full-on battle time.
That's right.
Full-on battle time for the GDB crew, GDB Fantasy League. I think there's still a spot or two open.
Yeah, there is.
If you want to get in.
We wanted to go with a 14-man league just to try to keep it open for as many people as we could, but apparently the interest level isn't that great, but that's all right. Because right now we're at 10, we're looking for 12. We need one more person.
You just didn't know about it, right? Now you know, so you're going to do it? All right.
Now we'll have to form 2 leagues.
Right.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're going to be stealing your info and then beating you with it. Thank you.
Good stuff, man.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Ramon Torres, good to have you here, man.
Know it, love it.
Brett Finnegan. Yeah, you got some Buckeye stuff for us today.
Mm-hmm.
So that season's about to kick off too. So we're
This Saturday.
This Saturday, hell yeah!
Saturday.
And we're gonna
Against the Zips.
Are you worried?
No.
I don't know. Maybe we should be. So we're gonna get into the Buckeyes. Of course, we got to talk about the Browns, where we're at, where we're heading. And Jim Tomey, come on.
Welcome home. Welcome, Tomey. Hey, what's up, all you GDB fans? Welcome back to the Fantasy Factor. DST, so happy to be rocking my favorite segment, and we're going to kick it off right for you right now. We got fantasy draft time coming up for you. I know a lot of you guys are looking for some inside tips. I got lots of names, so get a pen, get a paper, and let's go over your 2011 fantasy football studs right now. I'm going to rock off probably the top 10 players at each position: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and then we'll do the top 5 tight ends and defenses, kickers. Come on, guys. If you can't draft a kicker, don't play fantasy football. All right, quarterback position. It's the most important part of your team, okay? Some leagues have the 4-point touchdowns. I always rock with the 6-point touchdown quarterbacks, so that's why they're most important. They fly off in our draft. So let's start it off right now. Number 1, I got a two-way tie for you. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, both stellar quarterbacks. I think they're both going to have phenomenal years. Look for Tom Brady to post up 4,000 yards, maybe 35 touchdowns. Look for the same from Aaron Rodgers, but maybe closer to the 30 touchdown mark. He's going to love having Jermichael Finley healthy and back out there on the field. So a two-way tie for there. Coming in at number 2, we got the recently announced $100 million man, Michael Vick, out there in Philly. You got to love his strength of schedule. I think Philly has the 3rd easiest offensive schedule in the year, so look for big things from Vic this year. Rounded up number 3, I got Phillip Rivers, the only quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards in 5 consecutive seasons. He's got Vincent Jackson back. Why would you not want this guy on your team? Drew Brees kind of fell off a little last year. Looking for him to bounce back. He's got a new tight end. Peyton Manning slid down this list, and that's only because of that neck surgery, okay? Nobody really knows what's going on. They brought in Kerry Collins. They're paying him $14 million. Maybe they know something more about Peyton Manning's neck that they're really leading on. But he kind of fell down the list. You still got to grab him, though. All right, at number 6, I got Matt Ryan. The addition of Julio Jones means this guy has weapons galore. Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, they got the running game. Try and snag Matt Ryan if you can. To round out the list, I got Tony Romo, productive Dallas offense, Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Schaub, and Joe Flacco to round out the top 10. All right, guys you want to avoid, anybody I didn't mention on that list. It's vital that you get a top 10 quarterback to run your league. You don't want to be putting the whole weight of your team on, like a Sam Bradford, who might have a good year. He's got a new offensive coordinator, or a guy like Matthew Stafford who has the weapons, but his health is always a concern. So be careful. Make sure you dedicate yourself to one of those quarterback picks. If you slid down and you want to look for some guys with value, I like Kyle Orton, Josh Freeman, Mark Sanchez, and believe it or not, Chad Henne. I know you might be saying what on that one, but he's got Brandon Marshall, and they have the number 1 easiest strength of schedule when it comes to the passing game. So maybe try and sneak Chad Henne onto your roster, even if it's a number 2 spot. All right, sleeper, our boy, Colt McCoy. That's right, man. I'm loving it. Try and get him on your team if you can. You may not start him, but you may need him. And I'm looking for 3,500 yards, maybe 25 touchdowns from him. Going to see big things from the Brownies. Backups, guys who might shine. I said it already. Kerry Collins, man, $14 million. That's got to throw some flags on you. All right, rolling to the running back position. Very important. Number 1, Adrian Peterson. A lot of guys are high on Arian Foster, but Adrian Peterson's been doing it longer. He's been doing it consecutively, and there's a lot of one-year wonders who have been coming out of Texas, i.e. Dominic Davis, Steve Slayton. You might not want to get on those guys. Arian Foster, I like him at number 2. Chris Johnson should fall off this list. Don't even know if he's going to play, but you don't want to not have that guy. So, that's a tough decision you might have to deal with. Number 4, Rashard Mendenhall. Love the Pittsburgh run game. Number 5, Jamal Charles. Look for a breakout year. I got LaShawn McCoy. PPR leagues. Get LaShawn McCoy. He caught more balls than any running back in the league last year. And, of course, Peyton Hillis, Ray Rice, Frank Gore, and a two-way tie at number 10 for Michael Turner and Steven Jackson, because I'm looking at about the same numbers from those guys this year. Guys to avoid. Jones Drew. Had a knee surgery. Don't know if he's going to bounce back. He might. He might not, so you don't want to be stuck right there. And also, we used to be worried about the 3-headed running back. Now there's 4-headed running backs. These guys are 4 deep. The Saints, they're 4 deep with running backs. You don't want to put a lot of stock in Mark Ingram because it might not pay dividends. There's a lot of work going on over there, so try to watch out for those deep rosters. Guys with value, I like Felix Jones. He's starting in Dallas this year, and the law firm, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, had 11 touchdowns in 10 games last year, and New England has the number 1 strength of schedule run game, so definitely look for BGE. Sleeper mode, Javon Ringer. I'm going to say it once. I'll say it again. Javon Ringer. If Chris Johnson doesn't play, this guy's ready to go. He's had an awesome preseason. Definitely sleeper material for you guys right there. Guys with quality backup, Rashad Jennings, like I said, if Jones Drew doesn't shine, Rashad Jennings is going to shine through. And an ex-Brown, Jerome Harrison, he's out there in Detroit right now. He's backing up on injury-prone Javid Best, who still hasn't healed from last year. Harrison's been getting a lot of work throughout the preseason, and he could be a potential starter in the late rounds. All right, let's jump to the wide receiver position. We're keeping it rolling hot, guys. Number 1, Andre Johnson. Number 2, Calvin Johnson. Try to get them both if you got that 14 pick. Johnson and Johnson. It doesn't get better than that. Number 3, Roddy White. He was the top guy all year last year with Julio Jones. That's going to take some of the pressure off him. Matt Ryan loves him. Roddy White. Number 4, Vincent Jackson. Back on the field. He's going to catch 15 touchdowns. I got him on my team. You should have him on yours. Number 5, little high, Deshaun Jackson. I like their strength of schedule. I said it again. I'm going to say it again. Larry Fitzgerald. Just paid him all that money. Hopefully he can have a solid year. Now he's got a quarterback. Brandon Marshall. Again, strength of schedule, guys. You got to do your homework. Look at these matchups and try to see who has the potential, during your playoffs. Who's got easier schedules. Those are things you got to look at. At number 8, I got a combo. Wes Welker, Chad Ochocinco. Tom Brady's throwing a shit ton of touchdowns this year. Hell, try to get them both if you can. Santonio Holmes, Hakeem Nicks at number 9. Those are 2 similar players who are going to have similar numbers. And at number 10, out in Dallas, Miles Austin and Des Bryant are about dead even right now. So I would say one is just about as good as the other. Guys to avoid, Michael Crabtree. He's a bum. Don't even draft him. Greg Jennings. I know he had a big year last year, but that was only after Jermichael Finley went down. Finley's healthy. He's a draft. He's going to be catching touchdowns all year. That's going to affect Jennings' numbers a little bit. Guys with value in the later rounds. Here we go. Mario Manningham stepping up, and Steve Smith finished off the year last year with 400-yard games. He's going to pick up right where he left off. Plexico Burress, back from jail. I could call him a sleeper because he hasn't done anything in 3 years, but you know what he can do. Sanchez said he never had a target like him, and I'm looking for big things from Plexico Burress. Also, late, Brandon Lloyd had a stellar year. Kyle Orton likes him. He hasn't been going high. Try to snag him late. Sidney Rice, he's kind of a maybe. I love it. He's an athlete. He's a freak. But he's in Seattle. And Tavares Jackson is the quarterback, and they've looked like shit all preseason. So, maybe going to gamble on him. I also like Danny Amendola. I think he's going to catch 100 balls this year. He's going to be Sam Bradford's go-to guy. Try and snag him. Sleeper mode. I got Jacoby Ford out in Oakland. This guy emerged the past couple of weeks last year, and they really like what this guy can do. He's a weapon. He's probably the fastest receiver in the NFL, and look for a lot of screams and a lot of big plays coming from Jacoby Ford this year. All right, we're going to wrap things up with the tight end and the defense. We're going to roll them quick, though. Top 5 tight ends. Antonio Gates, Jermichael Finley, Jason Witten, Dallas Clark slid down this list only due to that Manning injury, and I like Vernon Davis at number 5. Sleeper, Jimmy Graham, New Orleans. Shocky's out of town. Drew Brees loves his tight ends, so look for him. Also, I like Shianko, and with Donovan McNabb there. Brandon Pettigrew, I had this guy in my league last year, quietly, 8 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Try and snag him. Or Mercedes Lewis emerged as a top 10 tight end last year as well. All right, the big D. Some leagues are very defensive dominated, and I mean you can lose points for allowing lots of points and yards and etc. So it's really big. They go early in my league. Here's your top 5 Ds for the year. Number 1, the Steel Curtain. 2, Packers. I love the Jets at number 3, the Eagles at number 4, and the Bears at number 5. That Tampa 2, they got a lot of stars on that Bears D, so you can snag them. Sleeper D, the Lions. They have shut down every team they played in the preseason except for us Brownies. You should see what they did to Tom Brady. Their front 4 is fierce, and I'm looking for a solid year from their Lions D. Some guys who have value. I like the Rams and the Redskins, who supposedly have the easiest defensive strength of schedule. I don't know how that happens when you got to face Vic twice and Manning twice, but hey, these guys know more than you do. So that's it. Feel free to rewind and get all those tips again. DST so thrilled to have football back in the air. Draft time is here. I hope you guys go out there and get some studs. We got 17 weeks of the Fantasy Factor. You can send any questions or emails. Hit me up on Facebook directly, or you can reach me at dst@gamedaybattle.com. Here is to solid fantasy year. Cheers.